I, 29 male, am currently sitting in my car outside my parents' house while absolute chaos unfolds inside. Just needed to get this out while it's fresh. My girlfriend, Natalie, 27, just stood up during Thanksgiving dinner, clinked her glass, and announced to my entire family, parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, that she's pregnant. She actually said, "We're going to be parents," while beaming at me. I set down my fork and said, "Definitely not mine." The room went dead silent. You could hear my grandma's hearing aid buzzing. Natalie laughed nervously. "Babe, stop joking around." "I'm not joking. I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. Here's the backstory. I got snipped at 26. Never wanted kids. Made that crystal clear to everyone I've dated, including Natalie. We've been together 18 months, and I told her on our 3rd date about the vasectomy. She said she was cool with not having kids. Even said it was a relief because pregnancy terrified her. I keep the vasectomy certificate in my wallet. Yeah, weird flex, but I started doing it after a previous girlfriend tried to baby trap me, and I needed proof. So right there at the dinner table, with my mom's green bean casserole getting cold, I pulled it out. March 15th, 3 years ago. Dr. Morrison at the urology clinic. Even had my follow-ups to confirm I'm shooting blanks. Natalie's face went white, then red. That's fake. You're lying." My brother grabbed the certificate, looked it over. He's a nurse. "No, this looks legit. Even has the clinic's seal." That's when Natalie lost it. Started screaming that I must have had it reversed, that I'm trying to abandon her and our baby. My mom tried to calm her down, but Natalie pushed past her and ran to the bathroom. Here's the kicker. My sister followed her and overheard Natalie on the phone saying, "It didn't work. He had a vasectomy. What do I do now?" My sister came back and whispered this to me. I went to the bathroom door and could hear Natalie talking. "No, Trent, I can't just leave now. Because his family is rich, that's why." Trent, her gay best friend, who's been crashing at her apartment for the last 2 months because he was between places. I walked back to the dining room and announced to everyone that Natalie just admitted on the phone that she's pregnant with Trent's baby and was trying to pass it off as mine for money. My dad, who's usually the calm one, stood up and said, "That woman needs to leave my house." Now, Natalie came out of the bathroom, saw everyone staring at her, and tried to play victim. "I don't know what he told you, but we heard you on the phone." My sister cut her off. "You said it didn't work and mentioned someone named Trent." The entitlement came out in full force. Natalie actually said, "So what? He," pointing at me, "can afford a baby. He makes 6 figures. Trent can't even afford his own apartment. You should be happy to have a baby in the family." My grandmother, 87 years old and sharp as a tack, stood up and said, "Get out of my daughter's house before I call the police." Natalie grabbed her purse, turned to me, and said, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer. You got me pregnant, and now you're abandoning me." I laughed. Actually laughed. Good luck with that. I have medical records, 0 sperm count tests, and now 15 witnesses to your confession. She left, slamming the door. We finished dinner. My mom made an extra plate for me from the drama I missed while in the parking lot typing this. But something tells me this isn't over. Update 1. Well, I was right. It wasn't over. Yesterday, Natalie showed up at my apartment with Trent and her mother at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, banging on my door like the police. I opened it with my phone already recording. Natalie's mom, Deb, immediately started in on me. "How dare you humiliate my daughter on Thanksgiving? You're going to take responsibility for this baby." I calmly said, "I had a vasectomy. It's not mine." Trent, this dude who's supposedly her gay best friend, tried to get aggressive. "Listen, man, Nat says you got her pregnant, so man up." "Interesting," I said. "Why are you so invested in this, Trent?" He actually tried to push into my apartment. I blocked him. "I'll call the cops if you don't leave." Deb went full Karen. "Call them. We'll tell them you got my daughter pregnant and abandoned her." "Cool. I'll show them my vasectomy records and the certificate from my urologist stating I have 0 sperm count. Then I'll press charges for harassment." Natalie started crying. But not real tears. That fake crying she does when she wants something. "I can't believe you're doing this to me. We were building a life together." "No," I corrected. You were living rent-free in my apartment half the time, eating my food, using my Netflix, and apparently sleeping with Trent. Trent stepped forward again. I'm not sleeping with anyone's girl, bro. That's when Natalie's mom made a fatal error. She turned to Trent and said, "You told me you'd convince him." The silence was beautiful. Trent realized he'd been outed. Natalie realized her mom just blew their cover. I just stood there, phone recording everything. "I think we're done here," I said, and started closing the door. Natalie tried to block it with her foot. "Wait. Okay, look. Maybe the dates are off. Maybe it happened before we were exclusive. We've been together 18 months. You're allegedly 2 months pregnant. That math doesn't work unless you're admitting you cheated." She removed her foot. They left, but not before Deb shouted, "You haven't heard the last of this." Later that day, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was a lawyer, at least someone claiming to be one. Said he represented Natalie, and I needed to submit to a paternity test or face legal consequences. I forwarded it to my cousin, who's an actual lawyer. He laughed and said it was clearly not from a real attorney. No legitimate lawyer text from a random number with that many grammatical errors. But then Natalie made her biggest mistake. She went on social media, posted in a single mom support group about how her millionaire boyfriend abandoned her after she announced her pregnancy. She didn't use my name, but included enough details that mutual friends figured out. One problem, I'm not a millionaire. I make decent money as a software developer, but I'm not rich. She inflated everything. Claimed I owned multiple properties I rent, said I had a trust fund, I don't, and painted herself as a victim of a rich man's cruelty. The post went mini viral in our city's Facebook groups. People were calling me out by name within hours. So I did something petty. I posted my vasectomy certificate on my own timeline with a caption, "PSA, had this done 3 years ago. Still shooting blanks." Some people really thought they had a winning lottery ticket. Man shrugging. The comments were gold. My sister commented the Maury, "You are not the father, GIF." My brother posted screenshots of texts where Natalie admitted 2 months ago that she was happy I didn't want kids. But the best comment came from someone unexpected. Trent's actual girlfriend, Melanie. Yeah, turns out Trent isn't gay and has been dating Melanie for 6 months. She commented, "Is this why you've been staying at some girl's apartment? You told me she was a lesbian." Everything unraveled from there. Update 2. The entitlement escalated to levels I didn't think were possible. After Melanie outed Trent, Natalie went into damage control mode. She called me crying, real tears this time, begging me to just go along with it for a few months. Her actual plan, I pretend the baby is mine. She gets money from my family. Apparently she thought my parents would give us cash for the baby. Then after a few months we break up, and she keeps the money. I recorded this call too. When I said no, she threatened to tell my employer I was harassing her. "Go ahead," I told her. "I'll show them all the evidence of your attempted fraud." She hung up and actually did it. Sent an email to my company's HR saying I was creating a hostile environment for her pregnancy. One problem, she's never worked at my company. We don't even work in the same industry. HR called me confused, asking if I knew this person. I explained the situation and forwarded them everything, the recordings, the texts, the social media posts. My boss was actually sympathetic, told me to file a police report for harassment, which I did. But Natalie wasn't done. She convinced Trent to claim he was just a sperm donor and that I agreed to raise the baby. They created fake text messages between me and him discussing this arrangement. Except they're idiots. The fake texts were supposedly from last year, but referenced a restaurant that didn't open until 3 months ago. Also, they used an app that doesn't match iPhone's actual messaging interface. My cousin, the lawyer, laughed his ass off when he saw them. Then came the extinction-level stupidity. Natalie and her mom showed up at my parents' house during their weekly Sunday dinner. Just walked in like they belonged there. My mom was so shocked, she dropped her wine glass. Deb announced, "We're here to discuss the baby's future like adults." My dad, who's been married to my mom for 35 years and knows better than to engage with crazy, simply said, "You're trespassing. Leave." Natalie tried emotional manipulation. "Don't you want to be grandparents?" My mom, bless her, said, "To our son's biological children? Sure. To Trent's baby? That's his parents' job." They refused to leave. Dad called the cops. Natalie and Deb were escorted out and given trespassing warnings. You'd think that would be the end, right? Nope. 2 days later, I got served with actual legal papers. Natalie was suing me for promissory estoppel, claiming I promised to support her and the baby, and she relied on that promise to her detriment. My cousin took one look at the filing and noticed something hilarious. Her lawyer had literally copy-pasted parts of the complaint from a legal advice website, including the placeholder text that said, "Insert specific promise here." We responded with a countersuit for harassment, defamation, attempted fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We included everything: recordings, texts, the fake messages they created, witness statements from Thanksgiving, the police reports. Her lawyer, who we discover was actually just a paralegal she was sleeping with, yes, another dude, withdrew from the case immediately when he realized he could be disbarred for practicing law without a license. The best part? Melanie, Trent's actual girlfriend, reached out to me. She'd been doing her own digging. Turns out this isn't Natalie's first rodeo. Melanie found 2 other guys on social media who had similar stories. Natalie getting pregnant, claiming it was theirs, trying to get money, then miscarrying when challenged. We created a group chat. We're all filing police reports for fraud. Final update. The House of Cards collapsed completely. First, the legal update. Natalie's lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice. The judge actually admonished her for wasting the court's time with frivolous and fraudulent claims. She was ordered to pay my legal fees, about $3,500. But before that happened, she tried one more Hail Mary. She reached out to my ex-girlfriend on Instagram, trying to get dirt on me. Maybe she thought she'd find something to use against me. Instead, my ex, we ended on good terms, immediately screenshotted everything and sent it to me. Natalie had offered to pay her for information that could help expose him. My ex played along, got her to admit in writing that she was trying to extort money from me, then sent all of that to me too. I added it to the pile of evidence. Then karma delivered the killing blow. Remember those other guys Melanie found? One of them was married to a prosecutor. Yeah, his wife took a very personal interest in this case. Natalie was arrested last week for fraud and extortion. Trent was arrested as an accomplice. Deb was questioned but not charged yet. During the investigation, they found something interesting on Natalie's phone. She wasn't actually pregnant. She'd been buying positive pregnancy tests online and had scheduled an abortion for next month, planning to claim she miscarried from the stress after getting money from me. But here's the twist. She was pregnant before. By Trent. About 6 months ago. She had an abortion then, which Trent paid for. This was all just attempt number 2 at the same scam, but this time targeting me instead of him. Trent flipped immediately when he found out she'd been playing him too. Gave the prosecutors everything, texts where she coached him on what to say, admitted the whole plan, even talked about doing this to other guys. Natalie's mom, Deb, abandoned her completely when she found out about the fake pregnancy. Apparently, even she has limits. Last I heard, Natalie took a plea deal, probation, restitution, and she has to attend mandatory counseling. Trent got community service. The paralegal she was sleeping with is under investigation by the state bar. As for me, I'm doing fine. Still happily child-free. Still have my vasectomy certificate in my wallet, laminated now. It's seen somewhere. Started dating someone new, a child-free woman who actually showed me her tubal ligation records on our second date. We laughed about our matching surgery scars. My family still jokes about that Thanksgiving. My grandma has officially banned any announcements during holiday dinners unless they're pre-approved by her. And Natalie? She moved back in with her mom and is working at a call center. She's blocked on everything, but mutual friends say she's telling people I ruined her life. No, Natalie, you ruined your own life the moment you decided to fake a pregnancy for money. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And always get your vasectomy papers laminated.